Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, and we are making pizza pie this morning with Chef Anthony. Now, earlier on the KOAM Morning News, we prepared the dough and kneaded it out and put it into the pan.
Yes, I got it into the pan. Now we're going to talk about the filling.
Yes.
So what I have is 1 pound of ground beef, 1 pound of ground lamb, and your favorite pizza toppings. So you can put just about anything that you want into it. Now don't overfill it with sauce. You kind of want it really thick and chunky so that it doesn't turn into soup inside of your...
Right, you need your pie to stand up.
Yes. So
where did you get the beef and the lamb?
I got the beef and the lamb from Simon Market. I got all these beautiful vegetables, and the colors really stood out during the cooking process for Martinez. They had a great selection this week, and I got inspired. So I let the kids kind of pick what they wanted to put into it, and they came up with all this.
Okay.
So we're going to start with we have our crust inside of our pan, and we're going to start with some mozzarella cheese into the bottom. You do. And then we're going to put our filling in.
I like the sound effects you gave with that. Doo-doo. So cheese on the bottom, okay.
A little bit of cheese on the bottom, and then fill it. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, you don't have to skimp on this one.
That looks very hearty.
Yes,
How much meat total filled this pan?
2 pounds.
2 pounds, but we're not going to use the whole thing.
No, I'm going to make another one of these at school.
Okay, so it makes enough for 2.
Oh, yes.
So a pound of each, so you need a half pound of each, okay.
And you can make as many of these as you need. You can do this in a 9x13 pan, anything that you have at home that you need. You can do this. You just need to make sure that you roll your dough out big enough for it. And I'm going to add just a little bit of cheese onto the top. It's going to kind of help keep the dough on. And here I've rolled out my dough, and we're going to lay it right on top. Just like so.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to give it a little stretch. I want to completely go over, and then I want to pat in, make sure I get a good connection.
No holes yet.
No holes yet, but I want to make sure I get a nice, good seal.
I have a pan that I just love working with. It's got like the scalloped
Already
edges
got
on
the
it.
scalloped edges on it?
So I make chicken pot pies in it, and I use my thumb and just push down all the edges. It makes a really pretty crust.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
This flan pan, of course, has those edges too. But if you push too hard, you're going to cut through. And that's your goal.
And we're going to make it attractive that same way. And this is kind of why I like the flan pan, because when I'm ready and I've sealed all my edges, it makes it look absolutely beautiful. And it's going to pull back away from the edges. So now you can kind of just watch your edges and make sure that you've sealed all the way around it.
It's pulled back a little bit there, you can tell.
And then this goes into the oven for 375 until the bread's done.
Do you need to cut any slits in it or anything? Just let it go?
Let it go, because the moisture inside is going to help the dough on the inside to cook, and it's going to turn out more like a pâte à choux, which is a steamed cooked bread.
Okay.
Gives you a little bit more liveliness to it, and you'll have a nice hard crust on the outside of it. Now, depending upon how thick you roll the dough dictates how thick your bread's going to be on your crust when you pull it out of the oven.
Now, how long are we cooking this again?
Cooks anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Do we need to because a lot of times when you cook a pie, you've got to cover the edges?
Nope.
So that they don't burn?
This is not a flaky pie crust, so this is a true bread dough, so you don't have to worry about that. A lot of people, when they do use a pie crust, you have to cover the edges so that the pie crust doesn't cook before the center of the filling, but our filling's already cooked.
Okay.
So you don't need a vent. You don't need to worry about the outside of the edges, because actually all you're doing now is melting the cheese and cooking the bread.
Okay. So this is one prepared by you.
Yes.
We've got one in the oven right now that's about to pull out that your students prepared yesterday. So I'm excited to see what they put as, did they do a similar filling?
They made all this. I haven't even tasted this yet.
Oh, they made the filling. So
they made the filling.
That filling is what they made in that one, but they put it all together, so.
They completely ran with the idea of doing this. We're doing a few new things in club, and they're working to become officers for next year, so they have to plan out different events and show their ideas and their planning and multitasking skills. and their leadership abilities. So they're leading all the way through this, and I'm just kind of along for the ride right at this moment.
Okay, so when we come back after the break, we will dig into our pizza pie.